Hello, everyone, and welcome to this short session on Space Invaders on Kubernetes. Over the last couple of years, I've been really interested in, bordering on obsessed with Kubernetes. If you don't know what Kubernetes is, it is a container orchestrator. What we do is we throw our containerized apps into Kubernetes, and it manages a lot of things for us, including things like high availability. So we can chuck our containers in, and we know they're going to be highly available because Kubernetes has that built into it. And we can test that out. So we can do things like test my connection into I've got an Azure Kubernetes service cluster, Microsoft's managed Kubernetes service, and there we are, it's a 2-node cluster. And I can deploy a really simple Nginx application to it, just saying kube control, create deployment, test, image, Nginx. And there we go, my deployment is created. And we could confirm that with get deployment, there we go. And I have one pod running in this deployment. And pods in Kubernetes are where we run our containers. Now, Kubernetes has this concept of desired state versus running state. When I created my deployment, I said I have a desired state of one pod running for that deployment at all times. So if anything happens to that pod, Kubernetes should automatically fix that for me. And we can test that. We can delete that pod. So I'm saying delete that pod, and what's happening here is the running state no longer matches the desired state. And if Kubernetes high availability has kicked in for me, we should see, there we go, we've got a new pod up, age of 9 seconds. So that's Kubernetes high availability in action. It has fixed that for me. It noticed that the running state didn't match the desired state and spun me up a new pod. Another thing I've been kind of interested in over the last couple of years is something called chaos engineering or resilience testing. And what chaos engineering is the principle of experimenting upon a system to see how it reacts when it encounters failures. So what we're doing is performing experiments on a system to see if it reacts the way we expect it to when it encounters a failure. And we just did a really simple chaos engineering experiment there. We deleted that pod to see if Kubernetes HA would kick in and spin up that new pod for me. And it did. It reacted the way I expected it to. So what we're doing with chaos engineering experiments is building up confidence in our systems so that when things go horribly, horribly wrong, we have confidence that the systems will react the way we want them to. And because we always know things like this, things don't go bad on, say, 4 o'clock on a Monday afternoon. No, they go wrong at 2 o'clock on a Sunday morning. So if you have confidence in your systems, dealing with those types of things is a lot easier. And we can build up that confidence with chaos engineering. And there's tons of tools out there, absolutely loads of them. The most famous one being, say, Netflix's Chaos Monkey. But I came across another little tool about a year ago called Invaders. And Invaders is a chaos engineering tool to perform experiments on systems running on Kubernetes. So let's have a look at that. So let's scale our deployment. Let's change that up to 10 pods. So the desired state of this, oh, we've got a bit of Azure Data Studio weirdness there. There we go. We've got our 10 pods. So the desired state here is 10 pods now, not just one. So what I can do is I can come over here and say, okay, get pods, watch. I can't type. And now I can play the game. And every time I kill, oh, hello. Bit of weirdness. It's OK. Do a refresh. There we go. And now I can play my game. And every time I kill an invader, I am killing a pod. And we can see Kubernetes spinning up a new pod so that the desired state always matches the running state. And I can hit it in automatic mode, and I can talk about it. So we can see killing there, and we can see the pods coming down, and Kubernetes kicking back in and spinning up new pods. So Kubernetes high availability kicking in, making sure that the desired state always matches the running state by using Space Invaders. And that is how you use Space Invaders to test Kubernetes high availability in a chaos engineering experiment. Probably one of the most fun GitHub projects I've ever come across. Absolutely love it. If you want to go check it out, it is on GitHub. You can see here, it's Invaders, a guy called Lucky Sideburn. Free to download. And if you want to know how to deploy it to a Kubernetes cluster, I recently wrote a blog on how to use Space Invaders on Kubernetes. Take you through how to deploy using Helm Kubernetes, Invaders onto AKS. Thank you very much. I need to come out of here.
5 seconds left. That was really good.
And,
So Warren, up you get. So, Andrew,
yes?
can we have the mic?
I thought you had a spare one.
No,
Oh, my bad.
that's all right. You just wander off with it. So we've got a few more people in. So how many people have been to the lightning sessions? So we've got one. Have been to lightning sessions at other places? No, no one has. No one's interested. Okay, good. Thanks a lot. Thanks for coming. So, Andrew's just walked off. Have I upset him? Oh, okay. All right, great. So who's this? Who's been to SQL Bits before? There's a few, but there's a few first-timers. No, you have. I was going to ask, were you doing the sound at the last one? So who's their first time? All right, who's coming again? All right, everybody. That's a prompt for everybody's hands up, just so you know. It's being recorded, so we know who's going to come and who's not coming. Are you good?
Ready
Give
to rock.
me whenever you are ready.
Cool. Hi, everybody. My name's Warren from South Africa, Johannesburg. I'm going to be speaking to you about Azure Data Explorer today. So mainly within the actual Synapse realm. So Synapse traditionally came with two engines. Oh, sorry, hang on, wait. Go back. Why are you doing this? Start slideshow. Can I start again? No, I'm playing, don't worry. Okay, so Synapse originally came with 2 engines.
Hold on. All right.
Cool, thank you.
No. You asked a question. Shall we let him start again?
No, it's fine, don't worry.
They want you to start, but they don't care. They want you to run out of time. You are
me
mean
deep.
people. Do you want him to start again? All right, good. Now we're getting somewhere.
All right, cool. So within Synapse, we originally had two runtime engines. Your SQL runtime engine for ad hoc querying of your DW, and then your Spark engine, which is also really used for your machine learning and deep analytics. What's recently been done now is the Azure Data Explorer has also been shipped with Synapse, so you've got a 3rd runtime engine, and this is highly optimized for your log analytics and your streaming analytics. Obviously, with the advent of IoT, you'd probably agree with me that that's quite important. So what we're going to look at is I'm going to give you 4, maybe 5 key takeaways, depending on the time tonight or today, and I've got 5 minutes. But essentially, I want to tell you why you would want to use this functionality within Synapse. The first thing I'm going to tell you before we even start is if you spin this up, please make sure that you set a timeout limit on it or spin it down, okay? How it bills is it bills pro rata per minute, and that's whether you're using the service or not. So if you leave it active, you're going to rack up a little Azure bill for yourself. So the first thing I wanted to tell you, and I already sort of alluded to it in my intro, is that the Data Explorer is part of a unified service. So within Synapse, it comes with Synapse. There's no reason for you to go and have to stitch together different services, different logins, different networks. It's all done. When you spin up something in Synapse, it's already there. It's part of it. It works seamlessly. It's secure. And it's just inherently got those permissions. So that's a really good part of it, is that you've got one unified solution. Second part about it is Data Explorer optimizes data on ingestion. So when the data either streams or gets batched into Data Explorer, it automatically gets cached, it gets indexed, gets compressed, it gets sharded, and it gets distributed. Your queries also run in a distributed manner, which gives you really good response times on it. You can also then connect externally from the system, so you can connect to things like Azure Monitor, you can connect to a SQL database, you can connect to SQL Data Warehouse. Just remember though, if you're not querying data that has actually been taken into the engine and is on the engine's actual storage, you're going to lose out on some of those advantages that you would get by querying stuff from within the engine. The next thing about it, and I have alluded to it already, is the indexing. So your Data Explorer and your Data Explorer in Synapse, because they're both the same architecture, has got some really fantastic proprietary indexing within it. And essentially, your indexing is going to be based on the fact on whatever your data is. So if you've got a string value, your indexing is going to be what would it be? It's a reverse term index. If you've got numeric data, it's going to be a forward index, and if you've got dynamic data within the system, so there would be unstructured data. So, for example, just plain text, not even in a semi-structured format. It's also going to use the fixed term index, but what it's going to do is it's going to run it through an emulator first. Once that data is in the system and once it creates an index, it's going to automatically create a shard at the same time. So the scope of the index is a data shard within the system. The system is then further optimized in which it does two things with the shards. The one is it rebuilds shards. The other one is it does a shard merge. That helps you get bigger shards and less shards, which enables then your multiple parallel processing engine to actually deal with it. So you've got multiple cores within the system. It's highly scalable. You can have anything from 4 cores up to thousands of cores, and it can actually process those shards simultaneously. Then, yeah, the next thing that the next takeaway from the system or from using Data Explorer is you are going to have to learn a new language. The language that we're looking at is KQL. It's called Custo Query Language. The reason I'm told why it's called Custo Query Language is when Data Explorer was originally conceived, it was called Custo, or Custo, however you want to pronounce it. It actually is a very, very easy language to learn. It's very logical. It simply works in a pipe sort of form. So you'll always start off declaring your table. It's much more declarative than SQL, and you write it in the same order that it executes. The results from your first line will be your input for your second line, and so on and so forth. It's in the studio, you write it, it's got complete IntelliSense, and it is context aware, so it's great for that. Right, 30 seconds left, so let's do the final one. There are some limitations inside of Data Explorer. So for example, with ingestion, you can only do 500,000 record writes at any given time. There are some soft limits and there are some hard limits. Some of the examples of the hard limits is within 24 cores, you can only have a certain amount of parallel processing. So just be aware of those limits. I'm done. Just be aware of those limits if you're going to use that system. Thank you.
Thank you, Warren. Ooh. All right, great. So big round of applause for Warren again. So now we have Azure Logic apps for everyone, not just the people in the room, everyone in 5 minutes. So this might take a couple of seconds to get set up as we swap over. So you're all coming back to the next SQL bits? All right, so what was your favorite session? This one, suck up, I like you. So whose favorite session? What was your favorite session? You didn't have a favorite session? Stop doing stupid stuff? By whom? It was so good, it was your favorite session, and you can't remember who did it. Did anyone, so you can watch it back online and remind yourself, because it was all streamed. Anyone else have a favorite session? The BI Power Hour, I heard that was really good. So who was your favorite speaker in the BI Power Hour? All of them? No one in particular? Really, everybody? No one particular? No one particular? Nobody particular? No one? They were all good? No, thanks for that. Cheers. Sorry, never mind. All right. Give me time to start the timer.
That's fine. Thank you all and welcome to my session, Logic Apps for everyone here at SQL Bits. So this is me. You can find me in my LinkedIn, and I have already uploaded GitHub repo and not repo, but documents and presentation in that GitHub links. So today's agenda is what is Logic Apps and then how you can create. So what is Logic Apps? So Logic Apps is it is a cloud-based platform for creating and running automated workflow that integrate your apps data service and system. And if you want to see a few examples, then for example, if you want to automate your workflow for sending email or scheduling email, then logic apps can work. You can quickly build your workflow. It's schedule or email and send email as well. Second example, if you would like to process a file as soon as it's come into an input folder, and then you like to move that file into a blob storage or somewhere else, at that time logic apps can help you, and you can very quickly build a workflow. So now let's see what it else. So it provides a cloud-based serverless engine. So you don't need to worry about hosting, scaling, managing, monitoring, and managing your solution. Azure will do it for you. So you can fully focus on implementation. And because of that, you only pay for what you have used. If you use a consumption-based logic apps, and it help you to do like no-code or low-code based solution. You can very quickly build your workflow by just drag and drop components. And it allows you to connect more than 200 connectors. But if there is a connector is not available, you can build your own connectors, and logic apps will help you on that. So this is a logic apps. You can find more information in this link. And now let's see quickly demo. So here I have two links. First link is a YouTube links where I have a 1 hour session for logic apps, how you create logic apps and how you use them in more. You can see that. And I have document as well. So now let's move into slide. So yeah, so when you create your logic apps, I don't know how. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so when you create your first logic apps, your screen is look like this, first logic apps. So here you can see that. And this is the overview page. This is the one. So initially you don't have anything. You just created logic apps. So it's look like this. And then here you can see extra information regarding your logic apps, like resource group, locations, and other things. You can see a design view. So here you can drag and drop your logic apps. You can see code view in here. And you can export your templates. So you can create AMP templates, and you can use for CI/CD pipeline. So that is one. And here you also can refresh your logic apps. You can refresh your logic app. You can delete your logic apps here. You can disable them if you don't need for temporary purpose. And then you can enable it very quickly by just one click button away. You can clone your logic apps, and you can do many things here. So let's see here. So this is the page. So here you can see that first step in your logic app is trigger. So these are the available triggers here. But if trigger is not available here, then you can build your own trigger as well. So first you select trigger, and then you can add action, which is a workflow. So once condition met, it will execute your workflow. And you can see these are the existence template, inbuilt templates, so you can use them as well. So these all are the inbuilt ready-made templates. You can easily use it, and you can just change your connection. So now let's start with the first one very quickly, which is, so this way you can just trigger, and you can add here connectors as well. These are all inbuilt connectors. Here available, these all are connectors. So this way you can build your logic apps. So now let's see second demo, which is, this is the key vaults, and key vault has the secrets, and these secrets I'm going to access in my logic apps. This is my Azure SQL Server. It has a table, and I'm going to access this table in my logic apps. And this is my final logic apps, which I have HTTP triggers, and then I have accessing key vault secrets here, and this is my SQL connection. And you will see that here you can see I have accessed the data from my table as well. This is a user table, and these all are data. So this way you can build your logic apps. So logic apps, in short, logic apps can help you to build your workflow. You can automate your workflow. You can drag and drop very quickly and very easily. And yeah, that's it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, great. if you just take that off and unplug, and then we'll get the next speaker up, which is me. Andrew, can I borrow you a sec? Because I'm going to run out of hands. Is he left? Oh, there he is. Stop doing that. So you just need to pad and find out what people's... Does that hide the magic? Oh, all right, okay.
Okay, so who are we waiting for? We're waiting for one more person?
Yes, well, waiting for 2 more people.
Okay, so we've got 2 more sessions to go. Are they both virtual?
No.
Okay, so we've got 2 more sessions to go.
One is me.
Right, so we've got Mark coming up next talking about... What are you talking about, Mark?
I'm talking about streaming into SQL dedicated pools with no code.
So I've seen Mark do a few lightning talks at this point. Is there a puppet involved this time?
I can't confirm or deny any rumors of any puppets or anything like that. Any nonsense. It's
when I
purely
first did
going
a
to be
lightning
pure
talk to Mark,
technical.
He did it. We may or may not see, but the second guy who came on and did a lightning talk actually sang his lightning talk with a guitar. So by the time I came on, I was sort of standing there going, "Hi, I'm here to do a technical talk. Hi, everyone." How are we getting on?
We're nearly there.
I've got a timer for you as well.
You've got a timer?
Yeah,
Ah.
you're not getting away with that one.
I know exactly how long mine is because I have...
Last 5 minutes, that's for sure.
All right, plug in. Let's come on.
Okay.
Time is ticking away.
All right, our remote speaker has just joined the meeting. I've had to have Teams running, so we may find out that if I get a Teams call from someone at work, we're just going to have to cut them off, okay? We need to plug you in. All right. There's no pressure. There's no anything going on. So did people ask them what their favourite sessions were? Pad.
We're still padding. Oh, we're still padding. How many people have been here all week? Hands up. How is everyone's feet feeling?
49 times. Yeah, it was 49 times.
Sorry, that was playing in the background.
It's like a well-oiled machine. Well-oiled machine.
Oh dear. Okay.
You good?
Yeah. Well, no. Give me a second.
All right.
We're not on screen.
There you go. Right, there you go.
I knew what was going on. I could have fixed it. Give me a sec. No, pad. I just need to.
No, you're on now, mate.
It's far easier.
You're on now, mate. You plugged in, you sorted, you're good to go.
I've got one more piece of prep I need to do. Sorry, I haven't started yet.
Okay, hands up. Who went to the party last night? How are we all feeling this morning? We all good?
Where's my script?
Just getting over it? Yeah. I didn't go. I decided to go and watch Wales lose to France. I thought we did all right, though. Yeah, we stayed in there. Interesting second half, but it was, yeah, I probably should have gone to the party instead.
Did I not? Oh, there it is. Hiding my script. No wonder I couldn't start.
Why have you got a script?
Why have I got a script? Why does anyone have a script? All right. What? What? No. You'll know when we start. I might need... No. I get the amount of time I'm given, which is the length of the video. That's how I know it's going to be 5 minutes. You ready? Yeah. There's no pressure. Okay, today I'm talking about streaming into... Oh, for goodness sake! Let me sort it out. Okay, now he's gone. We're going to talk about streaming into dedicated pools. So first, I need to create my table. So there we are. Now, if you notice, there's some event processed UTC. So I went really quick. They are amazing things. So if we have a look, this is what I've got. I've got a storage account, a dedicated pool, and now I'm going to create an Azure Synapse streaming job. So I can't see my script because I have no eyes because I'm a puppet. Okay, so I'm going to put in my job description name. I'm going to blur out my subscription ID because I don't want any of you having access to it. I'm now going to put it in East US, where all the best resources go, and then I create it. It takes a few moments. So now I have my streaming analytics job, but now I have to configure it. First thing you need to be really, 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 really careful is you need to create a storage account. Why do we need a storage account? Because you have to have one. You have to have one to make this work. So I put in my connection string, and I'm using a storage account key because I am a terrible, terrible, terrible puppet. Okay, now that's going to save, and then the next thing I need to do is wait for the video to catch up. Okay, great. I need to now create my source. Now my source is going to be some blob storage. Yes, I can stream from blob storage. I can just throw a file onto my blob storage and then automatically import into the data warehouse. So I just tell the streaming input where the file is, or the storage account name. I tell it the authentication. I'm going to use connection string. Now look, what? Oh, you idiot. No. Stop it, Luke. Stop it. Okay, that's not in the video. That's him doing it live. So I'm going to put in a folder called demo, date. I'm going to put in a pattern of year, month, day. And then I'm going to set the format, which went by very quickly. I should have ran this video a little slower. All right, now I've created an input. I need to now go, where am I going to send that file? I'm going to send that to a Synapse dedicated pool. Now there is a special connector for dedicated pool that uses copy into. So now I just need to find my database. I think it's called pool 1 because all databases are called pool 1. I'm going to connect with the best user account in the world, which is SQL admin user. Yes, everybody uses that, don't they? Hands up, everyone who uses it? No, you can't see them because you've got no eyes. Okay, all right. So I then create that. So I've already created the table, remember, and then I need to change the query. So this is the only bit of code, so I did lie a bit, that you need to worry about. So I'm going to swap in the query. This is going to be very quick. And so this is the stuff from the file. Event processing time, partition ID, blob name, last blob are special. They are from the streaming analytics. They tell us what the file is, when the file came in, and its name. That's very, very useful. And now I just start the job. So that should take a few moments. Pad. Oh, for goodness sake. Come on. Come on. Come on. Oh, my arm is getting really sore. Okay, I go to my storage account. I create a folder in the year, month, day that I specified previously. And then I'm just going to simply upload a file into it. There we go. File is uploading to its demo. It's not very big, just 3 meg. I then go and query the folder, and magically, I've got some rows. Ah, who knew that? Didn't do any coding, didn't do any importing. Was there a clap? Yes, you. I like you. We can meet up later if you're into fur. Now, I'm looking at a DMV, and now I'm looking at the query that actually executed against the system, the one streaming analytics did. And we can see it uses copy into. Wow, copy into. Sorry, too much? Yeah, okay. And then we're going to look at a second DMV called DMPDW DMS workers, and that actually shows us how many rows were actually processed. And we can actually see there were 2, which means behind the scenes, that 3 megs file was split into 2. Isn't that amazing? And now, for the simple people in the room, I'm going to just simply show you that it's exactly the right number of rows that are imported. No magic. Time's up. Bye. Can I go home now? Can I go home now?
Yeah, you can go home now.
All right.
Need a hand getting up?
I've got a really sore arm. I don't know how they do it on the Muppets. Okay. So we may or may not. I'm just going to unplug from the screen for a second because I don't want you to see all those emails from HR that are just arriving. I'm just going to connect to the Lightning Talk meeting and see if we can get them on the call. Okay, let's join the meeting. This is our last speaker. They should have been here in person, but we're going to see if we can get them in the room. So, has anyone used streaming or puppets for presentations before? No? Okay, let's turn. Okay. So hopefully, there'll be someone waiting there. I'm not sure the technical gods are going to work. Hey, Emmanuel. Do I need to change the output? Hold on a sec. We just got a few AV things. I'll change it to goes right there. Can you say something? All right, let's try that one. All right, try that again. Is it coming through? Oh, wait a minute. That's on. Should that work? You can see him, can't you? Just can't hear him. All right. Can you say something? Let's try and up. I'm not sure where the sound is.
It might be muted on his end.
No, it's muted. It looks like it's muted on mine. Bear with us. No, I thought I could hear him. We just need to change it to the right output device.
Can you say something again for me?
Don't worry, this is all normal. This is how these normally run. Do you want to try him with another adapter? And that one that is. So if we try him with just a normal HDMI adapter. Is my HDMI adapter down there? Oh, there it is. Try it with this one. And then straight in. So he's probably sitting at home going, what is going on? They can't even get a Teams call working. Hello. But we can hear him out through part of here. So yeah, there's something weird going on. It did look like it. Where is it?
Still just coming out of the laptop. I have no idea why. We tested this beforehand.
Yeah, it was. Well, we were playing. We were playing YouTube through it. You were playing that? Well, so Andrew, what was your favourite session?
I like the guy who talked about Kubernetes.
Did you?
Yeah.
Did you try any other anything? Have you tried anything else other than Kubernetes?
I went to a panel session yesterday, and they were talking about Kubernetes as
Were
well.
they?
Yeah, it was great.
I'm noticing a bit of a pattern of coming.
Yeah, I also went to a session today on Azure SQL Edge, and do you know,
What does that run on?
you could deploy it on Kubernetes.
I'm not really interested. Did you know, Warren, that Azure or Custo? I mean, I just call it Custo. There's a TDS endpoint.
Hello. Works? Wait.
I think we're not far off. Oh, okay. So, hey, I think we've got that sorted out.
Fantastic. Thank you.
I'm going to turn the camera off here, and after 5 minutes, I'm going to unplug the HDMI cable. So,
I will just go straight ahead. Let me start sharing my screen right away, so I will just start.
Okay, whenever you're ready, just shoot.
Okay, perfect. I will share it right now and start immediately. Okay, hello everybody. I don't have any feedback yet, so I hope everybody is hearing me fine and etc. So I'm here to show you something about the SQL Server Jupyter Diagnostic Book. As the name says, it's a tool that may be useful to you, hopefully, but not also the tool itself, but also what you can do with the concept of how this tool was created. Little bit about myself, not to just to throw my name out, but also because it's very important. If you have any questions or especially any addition that you want to add to this, and you will see why in a bit, feel free to reach me out anywhere. Email, my blog, my LinkedIn, GitHub pages, where you will find the code about this and anything else that I'm talking about. Feel free to just shoot it straight away, so don't need to worry. What we're talking about, a little bit of coverage about what's Azure Data Studio, what are notebooks, what are books, and finally the core of the session of this SQL diagnostic book that I'm going to show you. As everybody should know by now, but if you don't, Azure Data Studio is a product by Microsoft. It's open source. It's run on multiple operating systems, and you can contribute to it on GitHub. And it's a tool similar to SQL Server Management Studio, but that can do much more, and it's much more expandable, let's say. What are notebooks in Azure Data Studio? So in Azure Data Studio, you can use, other than classic queries and whatever, you can also use notebooks. You've seen notebooks even in the short session right here, so you should be familiar with them. But they're basically a single file that contains rich content, like the text, the description, the graphics, the media, but also the code. And you can actually run the code straight from inside the notebook itself. Each notebook supports, you can run a notebook on different machines or on different kernels. Common kernels are, like, for example, Python, Scala, Spark. There are tons. There is an even .NET. In our case, we're focusing on the SQL kernel. And why this is useful to our SQL guys is because right here you can have a single file to move around for your people to see and to move your code around instead of having a lot of code scripts laying around. What's a book? Crazy enough, it's a collection of notebooks. So nothing really fancy here. Where is the fancy stuff happening? It's happening right here. So you can find how it started, what's it about, and how to install it through my blog. Just search for my name, Diagnostic Book. You will find anything. You can go straight directly there. But let me show you directly how it works specifically live. So here I have Azure Data Studio. You can just go to the extension, search for the diagnostic notebook that you will find here. You will find it. You will find my name. You can download it. It opens a page. You download the VSX file, and it gets downloaded. Then you need to go back down here and do File, Install Extension from VSIX package. And you can just install the extension. It will ask you, are you sure you want to involve this? Yes, you can trust me because the code is open source, so you can find it on the GitHub, so no need to worry there. Once you do this, it's pretty simple. You open the execution, and you say, launch my diagnostic server book, like this. And automatically, you see that you have all these collection of notebooks that I've gathered together for you to use with whatever system you may want. The useful of this is an extension for Azure Data Studio, so you don't even have to carry your file around. You install Azure Data Studio anywhere you want, and you basically have it, and you connect it, and it works right away. The collection of notebooks is expanding constantly. So anything you may want, you can just participate personally, or you can ask me to add it to them. And I'm very glad if you can collaborate and add anything else to this. And being a notebook, as you can see, you can just connect, and of course, then you can just run the code whenever you want. So this is very useful for this kind of activity. And again, now I have 30 seconds left, so feel free to use this. Feel free to ask for anything, to collaborate directly to the project, but also feel free to consider this as your own project, maybe in your own company, because it may be useful to you to have something like this for a collection of runbooks or a collection of tasks for people that need to be executed, etc., etc. So I hope this be a quick content to make you happier about everything else. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
You can all come up and say hello.
Bye-bye.
So, thank you for coming to the lightning talks. I hope they were... Where's the mic? Thank you for coming to the lightning talks. Hopefully they were informative, useful, maybe mildly amusing in places. I found yours mildly amusing. Just the constant use of Kubernetes. You just won't let it go, will you? And come back again to Lightning Talks, come back again to SQL Bits, and have a good time for the rest of the day. And hopefully see you soon.